Have you ever woken up feeling off, like your brain's stuck in fog, your body just won't move the way it used to, and no matter how much you sleep, you still feel exhausted? You chalk it up to just getting older. But what if I told you, it might actually be your breakfast that's slowly stealing your strength, your focus, even your independence? I'm not exaggerating. There are certain breakfast foods, common ones, the kind you've probably been eating for years, that are linked to higher risks of stroke, memory loss, heart disease, even Alzheimer's. These are everyday foods. Toast. Cereal. A little packet of oatmeal. That muffin from the freezer aisle. And they are marketed to you as healthy, balanced, perfect for seniors. But inside your body, they're causing silent chaos. They spike your blood sugar. They inflame your brain. They chip away at your muscles and drain your energy before your day even begins. And here's the worst part. You don't feel it happening, not right away. The damage builds quietly, year after year. By the time you're 75, 80, or 85, it's already deep inside your cells. You just feel tired. Foggy. Weak. Off. But it didn't start with age. It started with breakfast. But here's the good news, and I want you to really hear this. Not everyone goes downhill with age. Not even close. There are seniors, right now, in their 70s, 80s, even 90s, living with clarity, strength, and vitality. Not because they have perfect genes. Not because they spend hours in the gym. But because they made a few smart, simple changes, starting with what they eat each morning. Imagine waking up clear-headed. Stronger on your feet. More alive than you've felt in years. That's not just wishful thinking, it's possible. And it starts with changing a few common foods you've been told were healthy, when they're actually doing you harm. And most doctors, they never bring this up. More than 90% of older adults have never been warned about these foods. Why? Because most of the nutrition advice we're given is outdated, stuck in the same old playbook from 40 years ago. But new research from places like Harvard and the Mayo Clinic paints a very different picture. We now know that some of the so-called healthy breakfast choices are actually linked to faster aging. While other, lesser-known options can reverse inflammation, boost brain function, and slow down the aging clock. In this video, I'm going to show you the 4 breakfast foods you need to avoid, and the 4 you should eat instead, if you want to protect your mind, your energy, and your independence in the years ahead. Ready? Let's dive in. Let's start with one of the sneakiest foods on the list. Deadly breakfast food number 1, flavored instant oatmeal. Now hold on, I know what you're thinking. But oatmeal is supposed to be healthy, right? You've probably heard that for decades. And you're not wrong, but only half right. See, plain oats, especially the kind you cook slow on the stovetop, are healthy. They're full of fiber, help lower cholesterol, and keep you full longer. But those little flavored instant packets, they're a completely different story. Take a closer look at the label. You'll usually find 10 to 15 grams of sugar in a single serving. And that doesn't include what you might add on top. Some brands sneak in artificial flavors, coloring, and preservatives that are banned in some countries. And that's what many seniors are eating first thing in the morning, thinking they're making a smart choice. But what really happens after you eat that? Your blood sugar spikes, hard and fast. It gives you a quick burst of energy, but then crashes, leaving you feeling drained, moody, or even dizzy a few hours later. That crash is not just aging. It's your body struggling to cope with a sugar overload. And worse, that repeated sugar spike triggers inflammation in your cells, especially in your brain and your joints. Over time, it contributes to that mental fog, that feeling of being slower or forgetful. And yes, it raises your risk of cognitive decline. And here's something most people never realize: when you eat something sugary first thing in the morning, it sets the tone for the rest of the day. It messes with your hunger hormones, increases cravings, and makes it harder to control your blood sugar all day long. So even if you're eating light, that innocent-looking packet of flavored oatmeal may actually be working against your body, not for it. Now, what's the better choice? Let me introduce you to a simple swap that can make a huge difference in how you feel. Steel-cut oats, cooked slow with cinnamon and fresh berries. This isn't just an upgrade. It's a game changer. Steel-cut oats are less processed, meaning they digest more slowly, so you don't get that sugar spike and crash. That keeps your energy steady, your mood stable, and your brain sharp throughout the day. Cinnamon. That's not just for flavor. It actually helps regulate blood sugar and is packed with antioxidants that protect your brain. And berries, especially blueberries and raspberries, are rich in compounds that support memory and focus, even in older adults. And here's a little bonus tip. Add a spoonful of chia seeds to your oats. They're full of omega-3s, the healthy fats your brain loves. They also help reduce inflammation and improve digestion, something many of us struggle with as we get older. This one swap, from flavored instant oatmeal to steel-cut oats with real, whole ingredients, might seem small. But it's not. It's the kind of change that adds up day after day, protecting your energy, your memory, and your health for the long haul. And that's just the first food. There are 3 more you need to know about, and trust me, the next one is even more common, and even more dangerous. Let's keep going. Now let's move to deadly breakfast food number 2, processed breakfast meats, like sausage or bacon. I know. This one's hard to hear. Maybe it reminds you of Sunday mornings with family, the smell of bacon on the stove, that satisfying sizzle in the pan. It's comforting. Familiar. Maybe even tied to some of your best memories. But here's the truth. These meats come with a cost your body may not be able to afford anymore. Sausage, bacon, even ham slices, especially the kind from the grocery store, are packed with sodium, nitrates, and preservatives that your body simply wasn't built to process every single day. And as we age, our ability to clear these chemicals slows down. That means what used to be just a little indulgence can now quietly turn into a serious health burden. Let me be real with you, these processed meats are directly linked to higher rates of cancer, especially colorectal cancer, and a significantly increased risk of heart disease and stroke. Why? Because the nitrates and nitrites used to preserve them can turn into harmful compounds in your body, especially when heated. And they've been shown to damage your cells, inflame your blood vessels, and even interfere with your circulation and brain function over time. If you've been feeling more tired, more bloated, or more sluggish after breakfast, these meats may be part of the reason. They're salty, heavy, and often cooked in oils that worsen inflammation. But it doesn't stop there. The sodium content alone in just a few slices of bacon can push some seniors dangerously close to their entire daily limit, before 9 a.m. That can cause your blood pressure to spike, your kidneys to strain, and your heart to work overtime. And here's the scary part, you may not feel it happening. There's no sharp pain, no clear warning sign. Just a slow build-up, until one day, there's a health scare that could have been avoided. But now, here's the hope. There is a better way to enjoy a warm, savory breakfast, one that fuels your body instead of fighting it. Swap those processed meats for pasture-raised eggs. Not just any eggs, but pasture-raised, where the hens are fed a natural diet and allowed to roam. These eggs are rich in clean protein, vitamin D, choline, and omega-3 fatty acids, all of which are essential for maintaining muscle strength, brain clarity, and heart health as we age. You can pair them with fresh spinach sautéed in a little olive oil, not margarine, and maybe even a few slices of creamy avocado. Why spinach and avocado? Spinach is packed with magnesium, folate, and antioxidants that protect your blood vessels and support your nervous system. It helps reduce inflammation naturally. And avocado? It's full of monounsaturated fats, the good kind that your brain and heart thrive on. These fats don't clog your arteries. They support them. They help your brain stay sharp, and your skin stay vibrant. Plus, starting your morning with healthy fats and protein keeps you full longer, keeps your blood sugar stable, and helps reduce cravings later in the day. That means fewer crashes, fewer snacks, and more steady energy. Here's a simple way to prepare it. Scramble 2 pasture-raised eggs in extra virgin olive oil, toss in a handful of chopped spinach, and finish with a pinch of sea salt. Serve it with sliced avocado on the side, maybe even a small sprinkle of turmeric if you want to kick it up a notch for inflammation support. It's quick. It's nourishing. And it's the kind of breakfast your body recognizes and loves. No preservatives. No hidden chemicals. Just real food that heals and strengthens you from the inside out. So if you're still starting your day with bacon or sausage, thinking, it's just a little, I want you to think again. Because every small choice you make at breakfast is either helping your body fight disease or helping disease take hold. And when you make the right choices, that's when you start to feel better. Stronger. Clearer. Now let's keep going, because deadly breakfast food number 3 is something that almost every senior has in their kitchen right now, and it may be one of the worst of all. Now let's talk about something that might be sitting in your pantry right now, something that seems harmless, maybe even healthy, but could be quietly working against your memory, your focus, and your long-term health. Deadly breakfast food number 3, sugary cereals, even the ones labeled whole grain. Let me ask you, how many times have you seen a cereal box with words like heart healthy, made with whole grains, or good source of fiber, printed across the front? It sounds reassuring, doesn't it? Like someone's looking out for you. But here's the hard truth: behind that friendly packaging lies a chemical cocktail your brain and body weren't meant to handle. Many of these cereals, even the ones in the natural aisle or labeled for adults, are loaded with added sugars, preservatives, and refined grains that offer very little in the way of real nutrition. It's not just the sugar, it's what the sugar does to you. When you eat sugary cereal first thing in the morning, your blood sugar spikes rapidly. That spike feels good for a moment, maybe you feel a little rush, a little energy, but it doesn't last. Within a couple of hours, your blood sugar crashes. That crash is what leaves you feeling tired, shaky, maybe even irritable or lightheaded. You start craving more sugar, more coffee, more snacks, and the cycle begins all over again. But it goes deeper than that. These sugar spikes, over time, can worsen insulin resistance. That's the condition where your body stops responding properly to insulin, the hormone that helps regulate your blood sugar. And when insulin resistance creeps in, it doesn't just affect your energy, it affects your brain. Studies now show a strong link between high-sugar diets and memory loss. Some researchers even call Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes, because of how closely it's tied to blood sugar dysfunction in the brain. So when you start your day with a bowl of sugary cereal, even if it says whole grain on the box, you're essentially flooding your system with processed carbs, artificial additives, and sugars that age your brain faster, not slower. But here's the good news: there's a better way to enjoy a satisfying, energizing breakfast, one that actually nourishes your brain, supports your digestion, and keeps you feeling full for hours. And it's surprisingly simple. The better swap. Plain Greek yogurt with nuts and flax seeds. Let's break that down. Greek yogurt, the unsweetened kind, is a powerhouse. It's packed with protein, which helps preserve your muscle mass as you age. It contains probiotics, which feed the good bacteria in your gut, and when your gut is healthy, everything else in your body works better: digestion, mood, immunity, even brain function. But here's the key: you have to choose the right yogurt. Skip the fruit-flavored ones. Skip the vanilla ones. Even those can hide 15 to 20 grams of added sugar in a tiny container. Instead, go for plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt. And then, you add the flavor. Naturally. Top it with a small handful of raw walnuts or almonds, both rich in healthy fats that protect your brain and reduce inflammation. These nuts also give your body magnesium and vitamin E, nutrients that support memory and mood regulation. Then sprinkle in ground flax seeds, one of the most underrated superfoods out there. Flax seeds are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which your brain needs to stay sharp. They're also loaded with fiber, which helps regulate digestion and keeps you fuller longer, without the crash. If you like a little sweetness, try adding a few fresh berries. Blueberries or strawberries are perfect. They're low in sugar, high in antioxidants, and support blood flow to the brain. And here's a tip. If you miss that creamy sweetness from your old cereal days, just stir in a tiny dash of cinnamon or a drop of pure vanilla extract. No sugar. No crash. Just clean flavor your body will thank you for. This one simple swap, from sugary boxed cereal to a bowl of Greek yogurt with healthy toppings, can change the way you feel all day long. You'll notice steadier energy, fewer cravings, sharper thinking, even less joint pain. Because what you feed your body in the morning doesn't just affect your breakfast, it affects your entire day, and the quality of your years to come. And we're not done yet. Because the fourth and final breakfast food on this list might just be the one that looks the most innocent, and does the most damage. Let's keep going. Now let's talk about the final item on today's list, and it may be the most deceptive of them all. Deadly breakfast food number 4, store-bought muffins and pastries. Now, I know these seem harmless, even convenient. They're soft, easy to chew, and they don't feel like junk food, especially when you see a label that says bran muffin or whole wheat pastry. It feels like a better choice, especially when you compare it to a donut or a cinnamon roll. But here's the truth most people never hear. These foods are ultra-processed, and they're quietly aging your body, every single day. Let me explain why. That muffin you pick up at the grocery store, the cafe, or even the bakery aisle, it's usually made from refined white flour, vegetable oils, and loaded with added sugars. And worse, many still contain trans fats or hydrogenated oils, even if the label says 0 grams. Why? Because manufacturers can legally list it as 0 as long as it's under 0.5 grams per serving. And no one eats just one serving. So what does that do to your body? Well, those refined carbs are absorbed very quickly, they spike your blood sugar, overload your insulin response, and lead to that all-too-familiar crash, where you feel sluggish, foggy, and hungrier than when you started. But that's just the beginning. When you eat these types of pastries regularly, especially first thing in the morning, it sets off a chain reaction in your body. Increased belly fat that's harder to lose. Higher blood pressure and elevated cholesterol. And a growing resistance to insulin, which is one of the biggest warning signs of type 2 diabetes. And let me be clear, this isn't just about weight. It's about what that belly fat represents: inflammation, hormonal imbalance, and danger to your heart and brain. And if you've been wondering why you feel drained by midday, or why your clothes fit differently even though you're eating light, this might be the hidden reason. These pastries don't fuel you, they slow you down. But here's the good news. You don't have to give up something sweet, filling, and satisfying in the morning. You just need to give your body something it recognizes, something it can use. The better swap. A morning smoothie with greens, protein, and berries. Now before you picture a bland, green sludge, hear me out. A properly made smoothie can be one of the most powerful anti-aging breakfasts you can give yourself. It's easy to digest, quick to make, and packed with nutrients that help your body heal, not break down. Here's how to do it right. Start with a handful of leafy greens, like spinach or kale. Don't worry, you won't taste them when they're blended in. What you will get is a flood of magnesium, iron, and chlorophyll, nutrients that detoxify your cells and boost your energy naturally. Then, add a scoop of clean protein powder, preferably plant-based or collagen-based. This helps protect your muscles, support your joints, and keep you full longer. Remember, maintaining muscle isn't just about looking strong, it's about staying independent. Now for your brain, add berries, especially blueberries or blackberries. These are low in sugar but rich in polyphenol that support memory, focus, and even help guard against cognitive decline. To give it real staying power, toss in half an avocado or a spoonful of nut butter. That's where your healthy fats come from. These help your body absorb vitamins better, reduce joint stiffness, and keep your blood sugar balanced. And here's a pro tip that most people miss. Add a pinch of turmeric, and if you can handle the spice, a slice of fresh ginger. These two ingredients are like nature's medicine. They reduce inflammation, ease joint pain, and may even protect your brain from the kinds of damage that lead to dementia. Blend it all up with some unsweetened almond milk or filtered water. In 60 seconds, you've got a breakfast that supports every system in your body, your brain, your heart, your gut, and your energy levels. And it tastes amazing. Cold. Creamy. Fresh. Satisfying. This isn't just a swap. It's a shift in how you care for yourself, and it's one that can add real quality to your years. So let me ask you this. Why settle for a pastry that makes you feel older, when you can drink something that helps you feel younger? You deserve more than convenience. You deserve food that honors the years you've lived, and the ones you still have ahead. Because aging isn't the enemy. Inflammation is. And what you eat for breakfast can either feed the fire, or put it out. Now, let's quickly recap everything we've covered, and talk about how to make it work for you. So if you truly want to stay sharp, strong, and independent well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond, start by looking at what you're putting on your plate each morning. Because breakfast, more than any other meal, sets the rhythm for your day. It either lifts you up, or slowly wears you down. Let's go back over what we've uncovered today, not to scare you, but to remind you just how much power you have over your own health. We talked about processed breakfast meats, like bacon and sausage, and how their nitrates and saturated fats may quietly raise your risk for stroke and cancer, even if your portions are small. We uncovered the truth about flavored instant oatmeal, how that healthy label hides the sugars and additives that lead to blood sugar crashes, brain fog, and fatigue that drags you down all morning. Then we exposed the sugary cereals, even the ones called whole grain, and how they wreak havoc on your insulin, fuel inflammation, and may even speed up cognitive decline. And finally, we talked about those store-bought muffins and pastries, the ones that look innocent but are loaded with refined carbs, hydrogenated oils, and hidden ingredients that contribute to belly fat, joint pain, and diabetes risk. But here's the most important part, we didn't stop at what to avoid. You now know 4 better options that nourish your body from the inside out. Simple eggs with sautéed greens. Steel-cut oats with chia seeds and cinnamon. Greek yogurt with nuts, flax seeds, and fresh berries. And a protein-packed smoothie with greens, berries, and anti-inflammatory spices like turmeric and ginger. These are not just health tips. They are daily habits that can give you back your clarity, your energy, your stamina, and most of all, your confidence to keep living fully. And here's the best part. You don't have to change everything overnight. Just pick one small shift, and stick with it. Maybe tomorrow you swap the muffin for a smoothie. Next week, you try oatmeal with real toppings instead of the instant packet. Over time, these choices add up. And you may find yourself waking up more clear-headed, less achy, stronger, and more capable of doing the things you love. Because it's not about perfection. It's about momentum and trusting that your body still knows how to heal, when you give it the right tools. Now tell me. Were you surprised by any of the foods we talked about today? Did something click, maybe a food you've eaten for years, thinking it was healthy, but deep down, you've wondered why you always felt so tired afterward? Or maybe you're thinking about a loved one. A friend, a spouse, someone who eats the same breakfast every morning and just can't figure out why they feel so drained by mid-morning. Why their joints ache, why their memory feels a little slower. Why the spark they used to have feels a little dimmer these days. It's not always aging. Sometimes, it's just breakfast. And that small shift, one little decision tomorrow morning, could be the start of something better. So let me ask you. Which breakfast food are you going to try tomorrow? What swap spoke to you the most? Is there one habit you know you can commit to this week, just to see how it feels? Tell us in the comments below. I read them. Others read them. You might be surprised how many people out there are going through the exact same thing as you. And if this video gave you even one helpful insight, if it made you think twice before opening that cereal box or reaching for that muffin, then go ahead and hit that like button. It helps more people just like you discover these tips, folks who want to feel better, live stronger, and age with purpose. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to Thriving Age Tip, your place for smart, simple health advice that actually speaks to you, not just to some number on a chart. Because you're not done yet. You still have life to live, places to go, people to love, and mornings worth waking up for, with energy, clarity, and strength. Let's keep building that together. One morning at a time. I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself, you're worth it.